same country where you are now, right now.
I'll be coming to see you, Maharaj, soon. I'll have your darshans, Krishna willing.
You're in Calgary, right?
I'm in Manitoba, Winnipeg.
Yes.
Yes, Maharaj.
So, Hare Krishna, thank you.
Thank you.
Sanatana Dharma Prabhu for inviting me
Yes, Maharaj.
to give this talk today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I've chosen a verse from the Bhagavad-Gita, and this is chapter 3, text 21, very famous sloka. Will you be translating Sanatana Dharma Prabhu or direct English?
Yes, Maharaj, I'll be translating.
I'll read the verse. Yad yadacharati sashtas tatatvetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastalanuvartate. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standard he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. Purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. People in general always require a leader who can teach the public by practical behavior. A leader cannot teach the public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. Lord Chaitanya said that a teacher should behave properly before he begins teaching. One who teaches in that way is called Acharya, or the ideal teacher. Therefore, a teacher must follow the principle of Shastra to teach the common man. A teacher cannot manufacture rules against the principles of revealed scriptures. The revealed scriptures like Manu Samhita and similar others are considered the standard books to be followed by human society. Thus, the leader's teaching should be based on the principle of such standard Shastra. One who desires to improve himself must follow the standard rules as they are practiced by the great teachers. Srimad Bhagavatam also affirmed that one should follow in the footsteps of great devotees, and that is a way of progress on the path of spiritual realization. The king, or the executive head of a state, the father, and the school teacher are all considered to be natural leaders of the innocent people in general. All such natural leaders have a great responsibility to their dependents. Therefore, they must be conversant with standard books of moral and spiritual codes. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shiguruvai Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pasachadi Satarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So this Bhagavad Gita verse from chapter 3, text 22. Krishna is telling to Arjuna, because Arjuna come from the kingly family, the king.
Can I
So
translate?
the king, the leader is supposed to be setting example, because from the action people will follow.
Excuse me, Maharaj. You want me to translate quickly?
No, that's what he said, right?
Okay, let's.
I can go English direct also if you want.
Okay, some devotees here may not follow English fully, so I can briefly translate if you wish to. Otherwise, fine.
Okay, you can go in translation.
थैंक यू महाराज। तो हम आज चर्चा करें श्रीमद् भगवद गीता तीसरे अध्याय श्लोक क्रमांक 21 से जहाँ पे भगवान श्री कृष्ण अर्जुन को उपदेश दे रहे हैं नेतृत्व के बारे में, क्योंकि अर्जुन स्वयं एक राजकुल में उत्पन्न है।
So whatever great men will do, the common people will follow in their footsteps.
जो महान व्यक्ति करते हैं, सामान्य व्यक्ति उनके पद चिन्हों पे चलेंगे।
Prabhupada explained in the purport that a teacher who is smoking himself, he cannot tell the student to stop smoking.
प्रभुपाद जी तात्पर्य में कह रहे हैं कि जो अध्यापक स्वयं बीड़ी पी रहा है, वो अपने छात्रों को बीड़ी पीने न की शिक्षा नहीं दे सकते।
Prabhupada is saying a leader cannot teach the public to stop smoking. So one who teaches in that way is called an acharya, who teaches by example. Prabhupada is saying.
तो प्रभुपाद जी कह रहे हैं कि जो अपने उदाहरण से दूसरों को सिखाते हैं, वे एक आचार्य हैं।
And the reason why Krishna is telling that sloka, that especially that verse, because Arjuna has refused to work. He didn't want to work. He stopped working. So, and this is why Krishna is telling him that if you don't work, then you will be responsible for the destroying the peace of the world.
भगवान श्री कृष्ण मुख्य तरीके से अर्जुन को ये उपदेश दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि अर्जुन अपने जिम्मेदारियों से विमुख हो रहे थे। तो अगर आप अपने जिम्मेदारी यानी कि लड़ने से विमुख हो जाते हैं, तो तुम जिम्मेदार रहोगे संपूर्ण विश्व के विनाश का।
And the whole concept of most, I would say, of the teachings of Bhagavad-gita is based on this aspect of, because Arjuna refusing to work, to do his duty. So, and this is how where Krishna is encouraging Arjuna that you have to work, you have to do your duty. And that when you do your duty, then others will follow in your footsteps.
तो मुख्य रूप से भगवद गीता की यही शिक्षा है कि अर्जुन, तुम अपने कार्य से विमुख नहीं हो सकते। तुम्हें एक अच्छा उदाहरण स्थापित करना है। अगर आप अपने कर्तव्यों से सम्मुख हो जाते हो, तो आप एक अच्छे उदाहरण प्रस्थापित करते हो।
Because in the beginning, Krishna has also mentioned every action there is a reaction.
शुरुआत में
So
भगवान
Arjuna was thinking, yeah, continue.
शुरुआत में भगवान श्री कृष्ण बताते हैं कि प्रत्येक क्रिया की प्रतिक्रिया होती है।
So then Arjuna was thinking, if every action has a reaction, then it's better I don't do any work. Then I won't get any reaction.
तो अर्जुन ने सोचा कि अरे, प्रत्येक क्रिया की प्रतिक्रिया होती है, तो मैं कोई क्रिया करूंगा ही नहीं, कोई कर्म नहीं करूंगा, ताकि मुझे कोई प्रतिक्रिया ना मिले।
Also, Krishna has mentioned to stop to act, and then now Krishna is telling him to act, you have to work. I mean, earlier Krishna said every action has a reaction, but now again Krishna is encouraging him that he has to do action, he has to work. So Arjuna is confused. You told me that every action has reaction, but now again you're telling me to work. So Arjuna is confused.
पहले भगवान ने बोला कि प्रत्येक क्रिया की प्रतिक्रिया होती है, उसके बाद भगवान बोल रहे उसको लड़ो। तो अर्जुन एक तरीके से भ्रमित है, क्योंकि लड़ना चाहिए या कोई क्रिया नहीं करनी चाहिए ताकि प्रतिक्रिया ना प्राप्त हो।
So yes, and Krishna tell him this, yes, but it's not like that. Not every action has to be done for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu. Action has to be done. Yagyatat karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhanat. So action has to be done as a sacrifice for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu. Otherwise, the same action will become the cause of bondage.
तो भगवान श्री कृष्ण सिखा रहे हैं यज्ञार्थत कर्मणो अन्यत्र लोकोयम कर्म बंधना, यानी कि आपको एक कर्म को यज्ञ के रूप में करना है। अगर आप कर्म को यज्ञ के रूप में नहीं करेंगे, तो वही कर्म आपके बंधन का कारण बन जाएगा।
Srila Prabhupada gives the example of the silkworm. The silkworm, they create the cocoons, they have to stay, and the silkworm, they die inside because there's not enough space for the air. So, and then the silkworm dies. So who is the cause of the death of the silkworm is his own action.
प्रभुपाद जी उदाहरण देते रेशमी के कीड़ा का। तो ये रेशमी का कीड़ा जो है, रेशमी अपने खुद के थूक से जो है बनाता है और उसी में लिपट जाता है और सांस नहीं ले पाता क्योंकि हवा का प्रवाह कम हो जाता है और उसी में बंधन के कारण मर जाता है।
Avanti Brahmana gave a further example. He said, sometime we eat some very, very, very tasty food, or maybe rasgulla, and you're eating the rasgulla. At that one point, you bite your tongue. It happened. If somebody is eating some nice food and he bites the tongue, and it is painful. But then who is the cause of that pain?
अवंती ब्राह्मण का एक उदाहरण हम सुनते हैं। वो बताते कि सपोज हम लोग जो है, मान लीजिए एक बहुत ही सुंदर मिष्ठान खा रहे हैं जैसे कि रसगुल्ला, उसको खाते खाते कभी कभी हम अपनी जीवा को ही काट लेते हैं, तो काटने के कारण बहुत पीड़ा होती है, तो उसके जिम्मेदार कौन है उस पीड़ा की?
We cannot blame the rasgulla, or we cannot blame the one who has cooked the rasgulla. But it's a person, his own action is eating and biting his tongue. So the cause of the pain of the tongue is his own action.
हम रसगुल्ला को दोष नहीं दे सकते, जिसने रसगुल्ला बनाया उसको भी दोष नहीं दे सकते। वास्तविक रूप में जिसने रसगुल्ला खाया है और अपनी जीवा को काट लिया अपने दांतों से, वही जिम्मेदार है।
And he gave a second example. When you're walking a bit faster, and then your right foot hit your left foot, and it's also painful. So who is the cause of the pain? It is your own action.
कभी कभी प्रभुपाद जी उदाहरण देते हैं कि व्यक्ति जब तेज चलता है तो उसका दाहिना पैर जो होता है वो बाएं पैर से टकरा जाता है और उसको बहुत तकलीफ होती है। तो वास्तविक रूप में व्यक्ति जो चल रहा है वही जिम्मेदार है उसके तकलीफ का।
So this is a point that Krishna wanted to bring, that action cannot be stopped, but you have to do action. But then action has to be done for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu.
तो क्रिया रोकी नहीं जा सकती, लेकिन क्रियाओं को, कर्मों को भगवान के संतुष्टि के लिए करना चाहिए, विष्णु की संतुष्टि के लिए।
And in the Bhagvadgita, in the first chapter, Arjuna is presenting many excuses for not fighting. And then he also mentioned Adharma Vivat Krishna Pradushanti Kulastriya. Stri Shuddhasta Suvarshna Jate Varna Sankara. Means if I kill all these women, all these men, and the wife, the woman will become independent, they will become free, and then because of that freedom, they will give rise to unwanted progeny. Jayate Varna Shankara, unwanted population.
पहले अध्याय में अर्जुन जो है बहाने दे रहे हैं। अधर्म विभवत कृष्णा प्रदुष्यंति कुल स्त्रिय, अगर युद्ध होगा तो अधर्म होगा, अधर्म के कारण जो है कुल नारी जो है वो प्रदूषित हो जाएगी। स्त्रीषु दुष्टाशु वार्ष्णेय जायते वर्ण संकर, और जैसे ही स्त्रियां प्रदुष्ट हो जाती हैं तो वर्ण संकर, यानी कि जो जनसंख्या जिनकी कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है वे निर्माण हो जाते हैं।
But here, Krishna is using the same point. He said, if you don't do your duty, if you don't fight, if you don't do your duty, and that actually will give rise to unwanted progeny, unwanted population.
तो यहाँ पे भगवान उत्तर दे रहे हैं कि अगर तुम अपना कर्म नहीं करोगे तो गलत उदाहरण रहोगे, और उस गलत उदाहरण के कारण जो है वर्ण संकर उत्पन्न होंगे।
Sanatan Prabhu, your voice is getting a bit is some broken.
Oh, Prabhu,
Right.
Maharaj, yeah, Maharaj, the translation is done. Devotees are able to hear clearly. Please, you can put in the chat. Yes,
All
Maharaj,
right. So,
We are able to hear you also, Maharaj. Please go ahead.
okay, good, yeah. So, yeah. If also, if you don't do the duty, then you'll be also be responsible for the peace of the world, destroying the peace of the world.
अगर तुम अपने कर्मों से विमुख हो जाओगे तो इस संसार के शांति को भंग करने का कारण भी तुम ही बनोगे अर्जुन.
And also, Krishna is saying that myself, I don't need to work. I don't like anything. I don't have any desires. But still, I'm performing my duty. I'm doing work. I'm working. I'm doing duty.
भगवान श्री कृष्ण भी ये कह रहे हैं कि इस तीनों जगत में मेरे लिए कोई निर्धारित कार्य नहीं है, कर्म नहीं है, फिर भी मैं अपने कर्म में लगा हूं.
Right? So I'm the Supreme Lord. There's no need for me to work. But why I'm working? Just to set the example for others to work.
मैं स्वयं भगवान हूँ, मुझे कोई निर्धारित कार्य नहीं है, कार्य करने की आवश्यकता भी नहीं, कर्म करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, लेकिन मैं क्यों कर्म कर रहा हूँ? क्योंकि मैं एक अच्छा उदाहरण स्थापित करना चाहता हूँ.
And because you don't want to work, because you think you consider yourself to be the doer, but you're not a doer. Prakite yamanayani gunas karmani sarva ahankarami mudatma kartaham iti manyate. Kartaham, I'm the doer. But where everything is actually controlled by done by the three modes of material nature, Arjuna.
तो भले ही तुम अपने आप को कर्ता समझो, लेकिन वास्तविक कर्ता तुम नहीं हो. प्रकृति क्रियमाणानि गुणे कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमूढ़ आत्मा कर्ता हम इति मन्ये. कर्ता हम ऐसे अपने आप को समझना नहीं चाहिए. प्रकृति गुण कार्य करते हैं, तुम नहीं.
So in one sense, Arjuna, he wants to renounce work. He wants to renounce work, maybe going to the forest, not doing any duty, not any action. Krishna is also chastising him. There is no one in this world who can remain without any action.
अर्जुन एक तरीके से अपने कर्म का परित्याग करके शायद वन में जाना चाहते थे, लेकिन यहाँ पे भगवान उनको दंडित करते हुए अपने वाक्यों से कह रहे हैं कि कोई भी व्यक्ति बिना कर्म करे कभी रह नहीं सकता.
Even one may say, Maharaj, I am just sitting, not doing anything. But then he's doing the action of sitting.
कोई कह सकता है महाराज मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं बैठा हुआ हूँ, लेकिन फिर भी वो कार्य कर रहा है, वो बैठा हुआ है.
And somebody may say a yogi is not doing anything, but still he's doing the exercise of breathing. He's breathing. He's doing something. Even the ants, they're also doing something. Everybody is doing something.
तो एक योगी भी कह सकता है अरे मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा, लेकिन वो श्वास ले रहा है. तो सांस लेना भी एक प्रक्रिया है. तो इस तरीके से कोई भी बोल सकता है कि मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन वो कोई ना कोई कार्य जरूर कर रहा है.
And Krishna is telling Arjuna, because your nature is to fight. Even if you refuse to fight here, and even if you go to the forest, maybe there also you will, because that's your nature is to always fight. So maybe you're going to find some animals and fight with them, because you cannot remain without action, because that's your nature to fight. So even if you go to the forest, you may be fighting with other people or even to the animals.
भगवान श्री कृष्ण बता रहे हैं कि तुम क्षत्रिय होने के कारण तुम्हारी प्रकृति और स्वभाव है कि तुम लड़ाकू हो, तुम युद्ध जरूर करोगे. तुम यहाँ नहीं लड़ोगे तो जंगल में जाके वहां के पशुओं से लड़ोगे, वहां के व्यक्तियों से लड़ोगे, लेकिन तुम लड़ोगे अवश्य. बिना लड़ाई के तुम नहीं रह सकते.
And also Krishna is telling, Anashrita karma phalam. A true yogi is one who renounced the fruit of his action, not the action itself, but the fruits of the action. Karma phalam. You know, one not he's a, if you want to consider sannyasi, he's a real sannyasi, but not the one who perform no works and perform light no fire. Na niragnir na chakriya. He's not sannyasi because he's not lighting fire and he's not performing any work.
तो यहाँ भगवान श्री कृष्ण कह रहे हैं अनाश्रित कर्म फलम। व्यक्ति वास्तविक रूप में त्यागी जो है वो यो नहीं है जो कर्म नहीं करता, वो कर्म फल त्यागता है। अनाश्रित कर्म फलम कार्यम कर्म करोति यह स सन्यासी च योगी च। तो वो वास्तविक रूप में एक सन्यासी है, योगी है, जो कर्म फल त्यागते हैं, कर्म को नहीं। न निराग्निर न चाक्रिय, वो नहीं जो अग्नि नहीं प्रज्वलित करता या फिर कोई अपना कर्म नहीं करता।
And the system of sannyas in our parampara by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami is not when you renounce everything. Is yukta vairagya, use everything in Krishna's service. So even in our society, the sannyasis, they are lighting fire and they are performing work as well.
हमारे परंपरा में, वैष्णव परंपरा में रूप गोस्वामी, सनातन गोस्वामी ने सिखाया है वैराग्य का मतलब युक्त वैराग्य होता है, यानी कि हम सब कुछ भगवान की सेवा में लगाएं। तो हमारे भी संस्था में देखेंगे तो सन्यासी जो है वो अपना कार्य कर रहे हैं, अग्नि प्रज्वलित कर रहे हैं, ये वास्तविक सन्यास है।
So yeah, the sannyasis also, they perform work. Yeah, they're distributing books, the construction temple. They have so many projects. That's work. And they are lighting fire. They can cook for the Lord, for Radha Krishna. They can cook, and they can also perform yagya, and also even kirtan. Kirtan is also fire because it says fiery kirtan. We say, you know. So this is how even sannyasis are performing work and lighting fire.
तो हमारे संस्था में देखेंगे तो सन्यासी भी तो एक तरीके से कार्य कर रहे हैं, वो पुस्तक वितरण कर रहे हैं, वो जाकर जो है मंदिरें बांध रहे हैं बड़े बड़े, और वो अग्नि प्रज्वलित भी करते हैं। अग्नि प्रज्वलित करते हुए यज्ञ करते हैं। यस, अग्नि प्रज्वलित करते हुए भगवान की सेवा करते हैं, भगवान के लिए भोग बनाते हैं। या फिर संकीर्तन को भी जो है एक तरीके से अग्नि प्रज्वलन कहा गया है, फायर ऑफ संकीर्तन, संकीर्तन की अग्नि।
Yes. So this is how Krishna is trying to make Arjuna. He has to action.
Sorry Maharaj, your voice little bit broke, we couldn't hear the last sentence.
Anyway, so Krishna is saying that he also is doing his duty, he's performing his work. So where do we find Krishna himself is doing duty, his work, is working, yes. Maybe not in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan is the abode of prema, but Dwarka is the abode of dharma, of duty.
तो हम देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे स्वयं भगवान होते हुए भी भगवान अपने कार्यों में कार्यरत है। तो ये भगवान एक उदाहरण प्रस्तापित कर रहे हैं, ये मूल संदेश है। भले वृंदावन जो है, वृंदावन प्रेम की भूमि है, तो वहां पे भगवान जो है आदान प्रदान कर रहे हैं, लेकिन द्वारका में देखा जाए और अन्य जगहों पे देखा जाए तो भगवान श्री कृष्ण अपने कार्यरत है कार्यों में।
So Arjuna may be thinking like, if Krishna is saying that you have to do your work, but no right for the fruits, you should not be attached to the fruits. But some people may say, if I don't become attached to the fruits, then what's the use of working? What's the use of trying to endeavor? People may become discouraged of also performing work because we should not be attached to the fruits.
हरे कृष्ण, इस भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने बोला है कि अरे कर्म करो लेकिन फल की इच्छा मत करो। तो लोग एक प्रश्न उठा सकते हैं कि अरे फल की इच्छा नहीं करनी है तो कर्म करें ही क्यों? लोग जो है निराश हो सकते हैं, हतोत्साही हो सकते हैं कि कर्म क्यों करें फिर।
But then Krishna also corners Arjuna again. You should do your duty, not be attached to the fruit, and you should not also be attached of not doing your duty.
तो इसलिए भगवान श्री कृष्ण समझाते हैं कि तुम्हें जो है अपना कार्य करना है, और कार्य न करने के लिए भी अनासक्त होना है, मतलब कार्य नहीं करना है ऐसे नहीं रहना चाहिए। माते संगोस्तु अकर्मण, अकर्मणी नहीं बनना।
Yes. So this is for, if Krishna is saying again, if I ever fail to engage carefully in performing my prescribed duty, and all the people will follow in my path.
भगवान बताते हैं कि अगर मैं अपने कार्यों में असफल रहा तो बाकी सारे जनतागण मेरे उदाहरण का लाभ उठा के मेरे पथ पे चलेंगे।
And then if I do not perform my duty, then I will put the world in ruination. And
और
that will become the cause of unwanted population.
भगवान बता रहे हैं कि अगर मैं अपना सेवा नहीं करता, अपना कार्य नहीं करता, तो फिर लोग बेजिम्मेदार, गैर जिम्मेदार बन जाएंगे, और उस उपरांत जो है पूरी दुनिया का सर्वनाश होते हुए जो है जो जनता वर्ण संकर, जिनकी कोई आवश्यकता नहीं, ऐसे अनावश्यक जनता जो है उत्पन्न हो।
In fact, what type of sannyasi would is prohibited in Kali Yuga? Not this Yukta Vairagya, Vaishnava sannyas. It is the karma sannyas, to renounce from work. That is forbidden. That's kind of sannyas, karma sannyas, means to renounce from work. That is forbidden.
तो कलयुग में कौन सा संन्यास वर्जित है? वैष्णव संन्यास, युक्त वैराग्य ये वर्जित नहीं है, कर्म संन्यास वर्जित है, जहां पे व्यक्ति अपना कर्म त्याग देता है।
So then, where is Krishna performing his duty? Definitely, Krishna is doing also his duty. He's doing his duty in Mathura. He resides in Mathura. Krishna left the house home 16,108. Krishna, when they go on the street, they all transform, become one Krishna, and that one Krishna goes into the sabha and discuss about managerial affairs. So this is a duty, he's doing his duty.
हम देखते हैं द्वारका और मथुरा में भी भगवान श्री कृष्ण अपने कार्य करते हैं। भगवान जो है उनके 16,108 रानियां हैं, सबके महल हैं, हर एक महल में कृष्ण है, और कृष्ण सारे 16,108 मिलके एक हो जाते हैं, और वो जो है राजमार्ग में चलते हुए सुधर्मा भवन में जाकर के मैनेजमेंट यानी कि कार्य व्यवसाय इन सब के बारे में चर्चा करते हैं। तो भगवान अपने कार्य कर रहे हैं।
And then he comes back at home. He also give donation down, go down, cow to the brahmanas. Of course, in Mathura, he doesn't take care. Sorry, in Dwarka, not Mathura. Dwarka, he doesn't take care of the cows personally, like in Vrindavan, but he can give dan, go down to the brahmanas.
उसके उपरांत भगवान जो है दान क्रिया भी करते हैं। हालांकि द्वारका में भगवान श्री कृष्ण स्वयं गोपालन नहीं करते, लेकिन वो गोदान जरूर करते हैं ब्राह्मणों को और जो आवश्यक लोगों को।
And then at home, he speaks to the family members. He speaks to his wives. You know, if the husband do not speak to wives, there will be big problems and children. So he also spend time with his children, speak to them. So this is how he is also engaging in work.
इस तरीके से देखा जाए तो घर गृहस्थी में भी भगवान श्री कृष्ण अपने पत्नियों से वार्तालाप करते हैं। अगर पत्नी से बातचीत नहीं हो तो बड़ा समस्या हो जाएगा, और उसी तरीके से अपने बच्चों से भी वो वार्तालाप करते हैं, पत्नी बच्चों को समय देते हैं। तो गृहस्थ धर्म भी भगवान निभा रहे हैं।
And also Krishna is performing meditation, is doing meditation. Definitely his Supreme Lord is meditating upon himself because he's God. So he can do that. We cannot do that. We cannot meditate on ourselves because we're not God, but Krishna can do it. So he's doing that to also set example. This is how Krishna is engaged in his prescribed duty.
भगवान ध्यान भी करते हैं, ध्यान करते हैं, भगवान होने के कारण खुद पे ध्यान करते हैं। हालांकि हम लोग ऐसा नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि हम भगवान नहीं है, लेकिन भगवान अपने ऊपर ध्यान करके ये बतला रहे कि ध्यान करना, साधना करना ये भी जिम्मेदारी है हमारी। तो भगवान इसको भी बखूबी से निभाते हैं।
Yeah. Remember, Arjuna was asking this question again, which is better, to renounce work or to work in devotion? And Krishna mentioned that both are good for liberation, but work in devotion is higher, is better than renouncing work.
तो अर्जुन भगवान श्री कृष्ण से शुरुआत में पूछते हैं कि कर्म संन्यास अच्छा है या कर्म को भक्ति भावना से करना, और भगवान बताते हैं कि दोनों मोक्ष के लिए अच्छे हैं, लेकिन भक्ति भाव से कर्म करना ये उच्च है, श्रेष्ठ है।
So this is why bhakti, devotional service is the highest, because this is work in devotion and it purifies the senses, engaging all the senses in the service of the Lord. This is how one can become purified in these days of Kali.
तो इसीलिए कलयुग में ये उत्तम मार्ग बोला गया है कि हम लोग जो है भक्ति भावना से हमारे कार्य में कार्यरत रहे, कर्म करें, क्योंकि इसी तरीके से हमारा इस कलयुग में शुद्धिकरण होगा।
Narad Muni gave the example, just like somebody drinking so much milk, and then he gets problems, bowel problems, stomach problems, and then to counteract that problems, stomach problems of drinking too much milk, he takes yogurts that can counteract that disease.
नारद मुनि जो है व्यास से बताते हैं, व्यास देव को, कि किस तरीके से अगर किसी ने बहुत ज्यादा दूध के पदार्थों का सेवन कर लिया, उसका पेट बिगड़ जाता है, तो फिर उस व्यक्ति को दही खाना चाहिए ऐसे पथ्य के लिए।
If somebody is doing some mechanical work, some grease, so much grease in the hand, and to wash it, to give it up, they need soap, and soap is also grease. So you take soap to take away grease.
तो अगर कोई आभ्यंतरिक कोई कार्य कर रहा है और उसके ग्रीस उसके हाथों पे लग जाता है, तो ग्रीस को निकालने के लिए भी वो जो है साबुन का उपयोग करता है। साबुन भी क्या है? साबुन भी एक तरीके का ग्रीस ही है। तो एक ग्रीस को निकालने के लिए दूसरे ग्रीस का उपयोग करते हैं।
And if you're walking and your foot gets pricked by thorns, and how do you take the thorns out? Is by another thorns, another safety pin. That pin is also thorns. So one types of thorn is a cause of pain, and the same thorn can become also the cause of relief.
तो जिस प्रकार से अगर हम चल रहे हैं रास्ते में और हमें कांटा चुभ जाता है, तो हम एक कांटा लेते हैं और उस कांटे से पहले वाले कांटे को निकालते हैं। तो एक कांटा जो है हमारे कष्ट का कारण है और दूसरा कांटा हमारे कष्ट के निवारण का कारण।
In some places where there is fire, in a field. So what they do to stop the fire, they put fire on the other side. So they say, fight fire with fire.
अगर किसी क्षेत्र में अग्नि लगी है, तो क्या करते हैं, वो दूसरे जगह भी अग्नि डाल देते हैं, ताकि जो है फायर बैलेंस आउट हो जाए, तो और एक तरीके से संतुलन रहे। तो अग्नि का उपयोग करके दूसरे अग्नि का हम लोग जो है नाश करते हैं।
So similarly, sinful action that you have committed, how can it be counteracted? Then also by action. That is what we call devotional service, right? So action. So when action becomes the cause of suffering, bondage, so another action for the pleasure of the Lord, that will counteract that sinful reaction.
तो हम देखते हैं कि इस प्रकार से हम लोग पापों में उलझ जाते हैं कार्यों के कारण। तो ये बंधन का कार्य है, और वही कार्य अगर हम भगवान की सेवा के लिए करें, तो वो हमारे पापों से मुक्ति का कारण हो जाता है।
Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhoksaja. Savai pumsam means now this is calling about the supreme duty. Savai pumsam, the supreme dharma. Well, there are many types of dharma, definitely, right? So, but the supreme dharma, savai pumsam, for all living entities, savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhoksaja. So this is a supreme dharma that one can actually perform.
सवै पुंसाम परो धर्मो, तो प्रत्येक जीवात्माओं के लिए जो पर धर्म है, ये परम श्रेष्ठ धर्म, वो व्यक्ति को करना चाहिए उस कार्य के लिए जिससे कि व्यक्ति को सभी दुखों का, सभी पापों का निवारण हो। परो धर्म।
तो भक्ति अधोक्षज सर्विस टू द सुप्रीम लॉर्ड अहेतु की अप्रतिहता ये आत्मा सुप्रसिद्धति. In fact, this is what will give the supreme satisfaction to the soul, right? This performing of our dharma duty to satisfy for the pleasure of Krishna.
परो धर्म, धर्म अनेक प्रकार के हैं, लेकिन क्या करना है? ये तो भक्ति हृदय अधोक्षज, अधोक्षज यानी कि भगवान की भक्ति करनी है। Yes. तो उससे क्या होता है, सवै पुंसाम परो धर्मो में तो भक्ति रदोक्षजे अहेतु की अप्रतिहता, हेतु नहीं होना चाहिए और बिल्कुल लगाम नहीं होना चाहिए, करते रहना चाहिए कंटिन्यूअस। उससे क्या होता है, ये आत्मा सुप्रसिद्ध थी, वास्तविक रूप में व्यक्ति को हर प्रकार के बंधन से मुक्त होके परम आनंद की अनुभूति होती है।
So although Krishna spoke about many yoga processes in Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Astanga Yoga, but at the end he's saying, Sarva Dharman Paritaja Mamekam Saranam Braja. Surrender to me, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. At the end he says, just give up all these types of different yogas. But only way you can know me is through Bhakti. Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati.
तो भगवान श्री कृष्ण भगवत गीता के अंत में क्या कहते हैं? अंत में ये कहते हैं कि आपको सर्वधर्मान प्रत्यक्ष मामेकम शरणं व्रज, आप मेरी शरण लो और मुझे जानो, मुझे समर्पित हो जाओ, मेरी भक्ति करो। और मुझे आप कैसे जान पाओगे? भक्त्या माम अभिजानाति, केवल भक्ति मार्ग से ही आप मुझे जान सकते हो। तो भगवान हम उनकी भक्ति करने का हमें जो है आदेश देते हैं।
Yeah. Although he spoke about Karma Yoga in the beginning, Jnana Yoga, Astanga Yoga, he spoke about all this, but at the end he says Bhakti. It's just like somebody sitting for the exam. Someone is sitting for the exam and the question papers come to his table. And now when you have to sit for the exam, write your answer, you have to read some rules and regulations are there. You have to read that first and then start to answer the questions. But the student did not read the rules, start giving the answer. But there is one point there in the rules regulation that please do not write anything. Just write your name and give it back. So in that way, the student would be failed because he did not read the rules. But similarly, although Krishna spoke about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Astanga Yoga, but then he said, no, not all this. Bhakti Amama Vijanati. Only through Bhakti Yoga you can understand me.
भगवत गीता में शुरुआत में भगवान ने कर्म योग के बारे में बोला है, फिर ज्ञान योग के बारे में बोला है, अंत में भक्ति के बारे में बोला है। लेकिन अंतिम श्लोक ये कहता है कि भक्त्या माम अभिजानाति। तो मानो कि एक विद्यार्थी है, वो एक परीक्षा के लिए बैठा है और परीक्षा लिखने के पहले उसको सारे नियम पढ़ने हैं परीक्षा के, और सारे नियम पढ़ने के बाद कुछ लोग तो प्रश्न शुरू कर देते हैं सॉल्व करना, लेकिन आखिरी में एक नियम है कि कुछ नहीं, अपना नाम और रोल नंबर लिख के वापस पेपर दे दो बस। और जो व्यक्ति आंसर सब कुछ करता है, सारा रिप्लाई करते है, वो फेल हो जाता है। केवल जितने ना अंत का वो इंस्ट्रक्शन पढ़ा और संदेश पढ़ के वो नाम और रोल नंबर देते, वो पास होता है। इसलिए अंत का जो है इंस्ट्रक्शन संदेश बहुत उपयुक्त है कि व्यक्ति को भक्तिया माम अभी जाना थी, भक्ति करो और मुझे जानो।
Yes. So killing the opponents, killing the enemies for Arjuna, that would be devotional service because he will be acting under the direction of Krishna for his satisfaction.
अर्जुन के लिए उनकी भक्ति क्या है? उनके समक्ष जो शत्रु खड़े हैं उनका विनाश करना, क्योंकि वो भगवान के संदेश के अंतर्गत और भक्ति भावना के अंतर्गत जो है वो अपनी ये प्रक्रिया कर रहे हैं। तो ये भक्ति है अर्जुन के लिए।
So unlike the other question that Arjuna asked, which is better to renounce work to work in devotion, so the Jnanis, they tend to follow in that path. The Mayavadis not doing any action. That's why sometime you'll go to Vrindavan, you'll find many sannyasis who are there, but just sitting there and begging, get some food, some money. They have renounced work. They don't want to work. So, but that's what Arjuna wanted to do. But Krishna said, no, we have to work.
अर्जुन का विचारधारणा ये था कि मैं सब कुछ संसार सब त्याग करके बिल्कुल एक बाबा जी की तरह धाम में जाकर बैठ करके भिक्षा के माध्यम से अपना जीविका चलाऊं। लेकिन भगवान बोले ये मैं नहीं चाहता कि तुम ये मार्ग अपनाओ, मैं चाहता हूं कि तुम युद्ध करो, तुम कर्म करो।
So this is where this famous verse comes, 3:21. Yat acharati shreshtas tat tatevirtar gyan sayat pramanam kurute lokastat anuvartate. And Krishna is telling to Arjuna in that context, right? Of course, that applied to also leaders. Prabhupada is saying in the purports, teachers, leaders, politicians, they have to set the example.
तो इसी संदर्भ में ये श्लोक आता है कि तुम एक अच्छा उदाहरण प्रस्तापित करना है अर्जुन, युद्ध करके अपना कर्म करके तुम एक उदाहरण प्रस्तापित करोगे। प्रभुपाद जी तात्पर्य में जो है शिक्षकों का, नेताओं का और पालकों का उदाहरण देते हैं कि आप मिलके जो है एक अच्छा आदर्श नेता बनना चाहिए, एक अच्छा आदर्श उदाहरण बनना चाहिए।
And everyone, in one sense, everyone is leading. Everyone, even if the sweeper, or the parents, or when the big brother, big sister, there will be someone who will follow them. You know, this is why my Guru Maharaj used to say one time in Pune, they were selling some t-shirts, and it was just written on the back of the t-shirt, just do it. Just do it. And my Guru Maharaj was saying that we can't just do it. We have to think very well before doing something, right? Because there will be people who are going to follow us. So we have to set the right example.
एक मेरे गुरु महाराज के साथ एक लीला हुई थी। गुरु महाराज बता रहे थे कि एक बार उन्होंने एक व्यक्ति को देखा जिन्होंने एक वस्त्र धारण किया था और उस वस्त्र के पीछे लिखा था जस्ट डू इट, यानी कि सिर्फ कर लो। लेकिन गुरु महाराज बोले हम सिर्फ नहीं कर सकते, हमें सोच समझ के चीजें करनी है, क्योंकि हम एक अच्छा या गलत उदाहरण लोगों के लिए बनाएंगे और लोग हमारा जो है अनुकरण करेंगे।
So parents should act properly. Otherwise, Guru na sashyat, Pita na sashyat, Janani na sashyat. One should not become a guru. One should not become a mother or a father or a teacher, even demigods, if one cannot deliver his dependence.
तो ऋषभ देव अपनी शिक्षाओं में कहते हैं गुरु न सस्यात, जननी न सस्यात, पिता न सस्यात, एवं न सस्यात। हमें जो है गुरु, माता, पिता कोई नहीं बनना चाहिए। न मोक्षयेत समुपैति मृत्यु। अगर हम अपने ऊपर जो निर्भर है उनको मृत्यु से, इस संसार से उद्धार नहीं कर सके तो।
This is Lord Krishna, amazing Lord Krishna. He's saying himself, don't need to do any duty. I don't have any desire, but still I'm performing my duty, Arjuna. So the Supreme, can you imagine? Supreme Personality of Godhead himself is setting the example. Wow.
तो सोचिए कि यहाँ पे भगवान स्वयं, तो सोचिए भगवान स्वयं, इतने भगवान स्वयं भगवान होते हुए कृष्ण जो है एक उदाहरण के लिए अपना कार्य कर रहे हैं। तो बस सोचिए इसके बारे में, कितनी अद्भुत चीज है।
I would Sanatana Dharma Prabhu?
Yes, Maharaj.
I would stop here. Maybe I would like to take some question if anybody have any question.
तो हम किसी का कोई प्रश्न है तो प्रश्न कर सकते हैं, प्रश्न लेंगे। हमें अनुवाद करने के लिए कोई चाहिए होगा यहाँ पे, क्योंकि हमें आगे प्रस्थान करना है। So, Maharaj, yes, there's a question by Devi Prabhu. Devi.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for this wonderful class and for explaining everything beautifully for our understanding. I wanted to ask you something, Maharaj, that you mentioned that we should surrender to the Lord only through the process of Bhakti Yoga could we fully understand Him. And some of us are doing devotional service, but we sometimes have challenges following the instructions of our guru, spiritual superiors, or even the shastras, because we're still in the sadhana stage. So I wanted to ask you, how do we develop that mood to fully serve so that we're fully surrendered to the Lord? We're not at that pure devotee state yet, but I wanted to ask you how we can serve, especially when we think we don't have the qualifications, the knowledge, or experience to execute that instruction.
Say that in Hindi.
Maharaj, you can go ahead. There's no problem. You can speak. You can give the translation. As we didn't need the translation, devotees, I just got a message. It's all right. You can give the answer, Maharaj. I just got a message.
Yeah, okay. So
Maharaj, request you for unfortunately I have to leave somewhere. I request for your leave, Maharaj. I'll hear the recording, the remaining part.
Are you leaving?
Yes, Maharaj, I have another program to do, but I
Okay.
really great association. It was very wonderfully you revised us the context of how one has to be very responsible, because by default we as devotees will be leaders and we have to become responsible and do our duties properly. At that point, I really liked it very much. And also, the 5 things are forbidden in Kali Yuga. And usually people ask the same question: sannyas is forbidden, then why you give sannyas in ISKCON? But you very beautifully clarified this, that it's karma sannyas that is forbidden, not the Vaishnava sannyas, explaining what is the true spirit of sannyas to be a yukta vairagi. Yes, Maharaj. So there will be some devotees who will, not most of the devotees will be there listening to your question answers. I just got a message from them that they don't need the translation anymore. They're able to follow it. So Maharaj, you please
Okay.
take some questions. I'll meet you soon, Maharaj. Thank you so much for coming. Please keep coming, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Mataji, would you like to repeat the question again?
Absolutely, Maharaj. Maharaj, in today's class, you mentioned that Bhakti Yoga, surrendering to the Lord, is the way we can truly understand Him. That's our duty to do devotional service. And right now, I'm a neophyte, so when we're doing devotional service, we're trying to follow the instructions of their guru. We sometimes don't fully follow the instructions because we don't believe we have the qualifications, the experience, or knowledge. So how do we surrender, fully embrace the instructions so we serve how Arjuna was instructed to serve? I wanted to ask you that, how to develop that mood.
Yeah, thank you very much for this wonderful question. Basically, there is Vani and Vapu. Most important to follow is the Vani, the instruction of Gurudev. Tad Vidipani pariprashnena sevaya upadikshantita jnanam jnanena stadvadarshinaha. One should inquire from the spiritual master in a submissive way, by inquiring from him in a very submissive way, and then he has seen the truth, and they can show us the truth. So yeah, definitely for those devotees who are new, definitely there is also basic principle that Gurudev given, that one has to follow the four regularity principle and chanting the holy name. By chanting the holy name, slowly one be able to come to follow the instruction more deeply. So beginning, we just chant Hare Krishna because Gurudev has given the instruction. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. So because in that there is a Shakti, even to observe all the rules of Dharma or to do bhakti, that also requires some Shakti. And Mahaprabhu said he has invested all his Shakti into the holy name. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. Tapita Nyamita Namarenik Nakalaha. Means that he has invested all the Shakti in the holy name. So we start chanting the holy name, and everything will be revealed slowly, and then our Shraddha needs to be increased. Shraddha, the faith. The faith is the first item in bhakti. Shraddha, and then sadhu sangha comes, and then bhajana kriya. We start chanting and then taking initiation, and then slowly the anartha nivriti, all the impediments, impurities start getting nullified, and then one come to nishta. So we have to come to the nishta platform. When we come to the nishta, then we become fixed. Right now it is anishtita, not fixed, a bit shaky, right? So, but that takes time, definitely. And when it comes to nishta doesn't mean that we'll be free from anartha. Anartha will be there, but it will not be disturbed, right? So Rupa Goswami has given this bhakti very scientifically, how we can progress, slowly. But the faith is the first item, and then we start to associate with devotees. And another thing also we can be done, like Rupa Goswami mentioned, that if one is walking somewhere and seeing that is somebody selling bhakti. He said that we must purchase it very quickly. And he said, purchasing not with money. You won't get bhakti with money. He said, by eagerness. Akuti. Akuti means we become more eager. And then with lolium. Lolium means greed. So one has to increase the greed slowly, slowly. Akuti means eagerness, to become more eager. Or also associated with devotees who are also eager, who are also greed for bhakti. So we associate with them more, and also our faith, our eagerness will also increase slowly, slowly. It's a path, right? It's a path. It's not just we become pure in one day, but it takes time. But we should be faithful in the process. We should become faithful in the process. It works. The process works. We can see Prabhupada has been going all over the world, and as soon as Prabhupada start to spread Krishna consciousness, and many people, the hippies, they have been transformed, right? There's one Avanti Brahmana again. Avanti Brahmana said, very beautifully said, he said, I will cross this world. I will go back to Godhead. It's not because he was proud. It is not because he was proud. He said that. He said, I will cross this world by following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. If we follow in the footsteps of the previous devotees, then we are sure we're going to make it. He was confident. He was confident. You know, and here in this verse here, I think it is 20, must be 20. Yes, text 20, 320. It is said, kings such as Janak attain perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. So just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. So here's one example. Janak Maharaj has attained perfection. So if you follow in the footsteps of the previous acharyas, surely we'll also achieve to that perfection. It's like sometime you go to some forest. You know, there is a forest, big forest, and sometimes there is a pathway going inside. So that path, little path, means that some people has gone through it. So if we also follow that, we go inside, we'll also achieve that destination. Just by following. This is humility, being humble and follow their footstep, the footstep of the previous devotees, of the devotees. And how can we check also? And you have rightly said, this like the train track goes on 2-track train, but we devotees, we walk on 3 tracks: Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. Right? So it should be based on Guru and Shastra and Sadhu. This is how we can actually make checks and balance also. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Any other question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, pronounced Krishna Prabhupada. I just had a question, since today's lecture is about setting an example. What do you do in situations when you find some leaders lying, and it's not once, not twice, but many times you notice that there is a lie behind what they say, and that sort of puts you down in the sense that, oh, you're looking up to this person, but this person's lying in some way or the other. So what do you do?
You're talking about lying, eh? Lying.
Yes, lying, as in not telling the truth, yeah.
Well, if the leaders are lying, and there is also a way to approach that situation, very Vaishnava way. Somebody is lying. And then we could also, for example, like one example we can say, if a leader or on the level of Prabhupada, someone is on level Prabhupada disciple, we are not Prabhupada disciple, so we cannot tell him. But in our society, there is a way that we can approach these problems, this situation, by approaching another senior devotee. And that other senior devotee will speak to him We cannot go directly to tell the person. If we are junior, to tell the person, there's a way. And in our society also, to tackle problems, if somebody is living in the temple, he would approach the temple commander. If he's not satisfied, he would say the temple president. And if he's not satisfied, he should approach the GBC. And the GBC is the ultimate authority. So then we have to, whatever the GBC say, we have to accept, because we cannot go beyond that. There's some ways of tackling difficulties, situation, and problems. Yeah, in a Vaishnava way.
No, Maharaj, so I think I didn't phrase my question correctly. So my question is about, like, what do we do with, in terms of, okay, that is how we deal with the person, but how do we do, like, our internal emotion for that person changes. So how do we deal with the internal conflict that we have every time we face that person?
How do we deal with the internal conflict? There is a ways also. Prabhupada Swami has given the exchanges of devotees, Priti Lakshanam, right? In fact, devotees is always conflict because this is Kali Yuga. So we have to understand that the conflict is inflicted not by you or not by the person. It is Kali Maharaj. Kali Maharaj is doing divides and rules. So divides and rules, we think that the British started from the British. No, it is Kali. Kali is happy when he sees the devotees conflicting. So sometime we may be trying to discuss, argue, and defeating each other. But who is the winner? It's not you or the person. It is Kali Maharaj. So somehow other devotees should come together and sacrifice our differences. There should be some way where we can do it. And the most important is our service, is our spreading of Krishna consciousness. There was also fire. There was also difficulties even during Bhaktivedanta Maharaj. So the more we spread Krishna consciousness, and the more we listen to Shastra, the more we listen to Kirtan, and the more we engage in reading and hearing and chanting, and this conflict will diminish. If there is no hearing and chanting and preaching, and then devotees will be engaged into this nitty-gritty, this conflict. But I would say that this is one way when the conflict can be diminished. Also, in a temple, to become vibrant, there should be three things is required. Into a vibrant community, to become vibrant, is Namruchi. Devotees should develop taste in chanting, right? All devotees should have taste in chanting. Namruchi, and then what's the next one? Vaishnava Seva. As a mood of serving the Vaishnavas. And then the third one is Jivedoya, preaching Krishna consciousness. If that is present, that is prominent in a yatra, and all these small problems will go away, right? So, yeah. And also Vaishnava dealing, has to be exchanges, katha, otherwise the conflict will increase even among devotees. So we should know that this conflict is not because of you or him or you or her. It's all Kali. Kali cannot, and Kali Maharaj cannot enter ISKCON, because ISKCON is following the 4 rules regulations. This is a place where Kali comes. But Kali has one entrance even in our society. And what is that entrance? Is through the window. And what is that window? Is the clashes, the conflict among devotees. That's common. In Kali Yuga, it is common. And the conflict is not because of the soul. Soul and soul never want to have conflict. But it's because of also the sets of previous karmas that is there. That is conflicting with each other. But somehow or other, this is how we can deal with this conflict. But conflict can be also avoided. There was Radhanath Maharaj was saying one example. He said, there was a forest in I think in Germany, Black Forest. Huge trees, tall trees. big trees in that forest. But even cyclone or tornadoes come, they don't crash, they don't fall down, they don't break. And the scientists were trying to find out why these big trees, they don't clash, they don't break. And they found that the roots go very deep into the soil. And then the roots are very much intertwined with each other, like that. So this gives the tree more power to stand even against these cyclones. So when we also come together, when we are intertwined, externally we are individual, but internally we should be more intertwined. And then it's difficult to break. There are ways whatever this conflict can be.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
There's one more person who had a question.
Yes.
So Maharaj, I think we can take last question.
Okay.
Yeah. Please.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the amazing class. So as you talked about renunciation, like you not renouncing work as such, but I just wanted to ask, so as we progress on the spiritual path, uh, how to basically not compromise on work or other material duties and do them with love and with taste also, because I feel as we progress on spiritual path we tend to see that material duties as our work and work hours, and we do not have that interest or passion that we used to have before as much as we used to have before. So how to not lose that taste or interest in work and at the same time carry out the material duties while developing the taste for chanting and for doing the spiritual duties as well.
Very good question. This is why Krishna did not ask Arjuna to leave his job and go away. This is why he's chastising Arjuna to do your duty, right? So taking care of the family is also duty. Taking care of the baby also is duty. To make the baby a devotee. To study also is duty. Because if you study, and then you can read the Shastra and one can also preach. But Krishna has given a very good point in Bhagavad-gita. He said about balancing life. We should know how to balance, then it becomes good. Balance means, you see, balance is everywhere, right? If you eat a food which doesn't have salt, you cannot eat. If it is too much salty, you cannot eat. In a car, those who drive car, they know there is real balancing. And if you go in a flight, one time I was in a flight, there was 5 passengers only. My seat was on the left side. And the air hostess said, no, can you sit on the right side? I said, no, my seat is on the left side. He said, no, we don't want to balance the flight. So balance is everywhere. And where is Krishna giving that word balancing in Bhagavad Gita? He's saying, Mam smara yudhyacha. Mam anusmara yudhyacha. He's saying, think of me and do your duty. That's balance. Think of me and do your duty. So whatever you're doing, you can also do your duty, whatever duty you have. At the same time, think of Krishna. That's possible. Krishna is saying. But of course, he's saying, think of me first, then duty. Okay? So we tend to think that temple is temple. Only temple is temple. No. Temple is temple, yes. But if you make progress, your house can also become a temple. And when your house is temple, and later on even your job place, your workplace also can be transformed like a temple. You put a photo of Krishna, whatever you meet with the other friends, devotee, talks about, you can also talks about the Gita, Bhagavad-Gita, chanting together also is possible. So temple is temple, your house become temple, and then your job place can also be transformed like a temple. And then your body also can be transformed like a temple. Body is already temple because Paramatma is there. It just we're not aware of it, right? And yes, but one thing that we have to understand, which is important, and that will make it clear. I used to give that example was given by Radhanath Maharaj also. I heard that from him. If you have to go from Mumbai to Delhi, your goal is to reach Delhi. Have a goal to reach Delhi from Mumbai, a flying flight. But you have to book the ticket, and after booking, you go to the airport, sit in the flight. Maybe in the beginning you make some phone call, or you eat, sometimes you sleep, and sometimes we go to the toilet, and sometimes we read some books. But we have to understand that sitting in the flight, buying the ticket is not the goal, but reaching Delhi is a goal, right? So similarly, the ticket should help you to reach Delhi. If the flight doesn't help you to reach Delhi, then it's a waste of time. So getting education, getting a certificate, getting a job, getting married, having a family member, getting children, that's important. But they are not the goal. Just like the flight, the ticket, they're important. But it's not the goal. The goal is to reach Delhi. Similarly, having a family members, having everything, money, business. It's not forbidden to do business, to have money. But this is not the goal. Just like the ticket helps you to reach Delhi. So similarly, your family, your money, your business, everything you have should help. They are important, but should help to achieve our goal, which is Krishna consciousness, right? But not nowadays. People, if you ask people what's the goal of life, they will tell you goal of life is to become a successful businessman, more money. That's not the goal. So, and coming to your point also, how do we get a taste to understand that? Yes, Krishna is saying already, Arjuna, do not leave everything, but it should be balance, right? Balance doesn't mean that so much time for education, so much time for house, so much time for business. This is not balance. This is one-sided. So it should be our material duty plus your spiritual duty, both together. So if the other side is weak, and then it'll be problem. You should have both sides, and then that will be better. Hare Krishna. Okay, Karanji.
Hare Krishna Maharaji. I would like today for giving a precious time. And also, like from past few months, I'm being connected with this group. And like after many requests from Sanatana Dharma Prabhu, I could request you, and eventually today you are here. So everyone is like from everyone's side, I would like to request, like in future also, yeah, you can bless us with few classes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karanji.
Hare Krishna,
Yeah,
Maharaj.
we can join again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj, for a
Also,
wonderful class. I will request all the devotees to chant one Hare Krishna Maharaj for thanking him for giving a wonderful class, and secondly, requesting him to come very frequently. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.